day 6 of Vlogmas. I thought I'd start the video off a little bit different today. I'm going for a walk. As I said, I'm trying to incorporate some more exercise and stuff into my day. It's overcast, as you can see there. It is around about 8 o'clock. I'm a little bit later. It sounded like it was raining when I woke up this morning, so I just took some time. No rush. I wind down so I can do Vlogmas and all the rest of it, so I don't necessarily have the shop open. It's all by appointment only. So I thought that I would take you for a little bit of a walk around my neighbourhood today, and you can see how green it is and how wet it has been. We've had a good solid week, longer actually, probably 2 weeks of rain and this and that and the other storms, you know, all the things that happen in summertime here in Queensland. Hello Arlo, how are you this morning? Yeah, you come out to see what I'm doing? Yeah, she's come out to have a bit of a sticky beak, see what I'm doing. Alright, so I'm going to go for a bit of a walk. I'm going to head down to the park. I'm going to do my 30 minutes of reading in the park today, something a bit different, just to get myself out of the house because I don't get out of the house enough. And the doctor tells me I need vitamin D, so the sun's not out, but I'll still get some vitamin D in today. I don't know how hot it's going to be, but it's nice and cool right now, so I'm going to take advantage of that. Alrighty, I'm going to head off. Yeah, hello? Hello? How are you this morning? Hey, how are you this morning? Hey? Hey, trying to climb up me today? Wow. Alright, I'm going to go for a walk. You go inside. Off you go. Good girl. Alright, so we got a storm again last night. As you can see, our grass is growing back. If you remember a couple of months ago, they did the road. So our grass is all starting to finally grow back. We've thrown some seed down and all the rest of it, but you can see how there's water just there. They had to come and fill in our front lawn because it just keeps accumulating water there. So, and that's just from rain. That's not from a pipe or anything like that. So yeah. But anyway, we're going to head off and go for a bit of a walk. Go back inside. Off you go. Hey, off you go. Go back inside. Hello. Can you hear the skateboarder? Hey. I love this guy's flowers. These are these roses. They've been a bit battered by the rain, but they're absolutely beautiful. He's got new buds happening. And these ones down here are my favourite. I don't know if you can see them or not, but look how cute the little patches of pink are on them. Usually if he's out in the yard, I sometimes ask him for some rose petals, and I make I like to make Turkish delight with real rose water, so I make my own rose water. I must get around to showing you how to do that, but they're beautiful. I love walking past them. They smell gorgeous too. So our park is super green at the moment. It's still very wet. I just love it. Like one day it's just brown as, and then we get a heap of rain, and then voila, we've got a beautiful green park. This is about 5 minutes down the road from my house. That a beautiful jacaranda tree. It's just still got some purple flowers on it. It's just starting to get its leafy green flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. Got some sort of meeting happening over in the park. I think they're the freedom fighters or something, I don't know. They're the anti-vaxxers of Kingaroy, basically. It's just, I've been watching it steadily grow. I won't film them because that's just rude, but I've been watching it steadily grow. This is our local ladies walking club. So a lot of mornings you get them down here and they go running around. For pink ladies, I think they're called, something like that. They often organise the breast cancer runs and stuff. But anyway, I'm going to turn the camera off because they're all looking at me. I don't need to be mobbed by them today. Anyway, crazy people. I think this is where I'm going to sit today. The park is pretty busy because it's cool enough now. It's starting to warm up a little bit and it gets very muggy very quickly, so people bring their kids down pretty early to the park and that so they can get some outside time. So I'm just going to sit here at the benches and get some reading in. Alright, so I wanted to bring my tripod but I couldn't find it. I think Brendan's got it at the workshop. So the book that I'm starting a new book today. So I'm going to talk about a few other books. Well, I'm actually spreading my books out over the week. So this is a book that I've had on my shelf for a couple of weeks and I'm going to start this today. So Daisy Jones and the Six. I've never read this author before, so it should be interesting. It's been, like, I've seen it on a few vloggers and stuff like BooKtubes and whatnot. So basically the blurb is their album is on every turntable. They sold out arenas from coast to coast and the sound defined excuse me defined an era. And then on the 12th of July 1970 they split. Nobody ever knew why until now. The only thing that's certain is that from the moment Daisy Jones walked barefoot onto the stage at the Whiskey, the band was irrevocably changed. This is how the story of their incredible rise and fall, ambition and desire, the heartbreak and the music. It's a fiction book and it was published, let me just have a look when this was published. Open it up. This is not as easy to do with just one hand. 2019. It was published. Oh, must be some pollen around or something. It's making me sneeze this morning. And I also have to do some note taking as well. So I'm going to probably spend the next hour or so here just taking notes. And this is my where I take my notes for the books before I do the reviews on the channel. Alrighty. Well, I'm up to page 11, but the weather's sort of starting to turn. It's getting a bit cooler now and the clouds are rolling in. So I think I'm going to go and do a little bit of walking before the weather does turn. They are forecasting rain today. Alright, I'm going to head back home and we're going to do our Stitch With Me. I quite enjoy sitting down here reading books. I would have liked to have got at least 30 pages read, but it is starting to, I can feel that the weather is changing and it's going to start raining. So I'm going to head off, and as I said, I'm up to page 11. I'll probably read a bit more of this tonight, but you know, hey, 15 minutes is better than nothing. I'm going to go home, I'm going to have a coffee, then we're going to do the Stitch With Me. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed that little bit of a walk with me and seeing, you know, I'm just sitting in the park, just relaxing and taking some time for myself. So we're also here for our Advent opening as well today. We are up to day 6. We're working on Holiday Quaker. I have my Christmas nails on. They're very cute today. So basically we're going to be doing a Stitch With Me. I'm going to be talking about a book that I've read. I'm only going to talk about one book today. I'm sort of trying to spread my books out over the all of them except for Sundays, where I just have a general wrap up of the week and all the rest of it. So we had that yesterday, so hopefully you enjoyed that. My floss has come in, so I will be able to move on to other things. So thank you, A Stitch in Time, for getting them to me so quickly. They did actually come on Friday afternoon, after I filmed my Saturday and Sunday videos, because I do them on Friday afternoon, so I get the weekend off. So yeah, so basically we're just going to be opening Advent this week, and we've got sewing tutorials coming up. We've got all sorts of stuff happening this week. So we've got a Flosstube, we've got a sewing tutorial, we're making a table runner this week. As I said, we're doing our Advent openings, and I'm also incorporating some of the things that I'm doing. I'm not that busy this week and I'm not going out that much, but the days that I do go out, I'll take you along for the drive or the walk or whatever I'm doing. Alright, so let's get stuck into it. Holiday Quaker. We're still working on reindeers. I think I'm up to the 3rd reindeer. Yes, the 3rd reindeer now. So I'll just move that so you can see that a little bit better. But first, we're going to open up our Advent. So we have our mystery Advent. It looks like a, what do you call them, Christmas cracker today. So yeah, let's see. It doesn't rattle or anything. So we'll have to wait and see what we've got. So it's day 6, and as I said, she's tied them all up with string and all the rest of it, and it looks like she's actually used it feels like she's used an old pattern or something to wrap it up with. So a little bit of recycling there, which is great. You know what, I'm not gonna, I can't even get that off. It's tied in a knot. Oh, there we go, it come now. All right, get the string off. Let's open that up and unwrap it a bit. It's squishy. Alright, it's not coming off. It doesn't want to come off for me. Oh dear me. So I'm having a lot of fun opening this mystery one. I've been having a lot of fun watching other people as well. I've been I just random ones that pop up in my feed because I've used the hashtag Vlogmas. I seem to be getting a few of them just popping up. No one is anyone that I really follow, just in the recommended. Alright. Okay, so that is that. I will actually keep that because I'll be able to use that in my journal. This sort of paper is really good for sticking in corners and stuff like that. And looks like we've got old book pages and all the rest of it, which is really good because I was actually thinking I don't have any old books here that I struggle to rip pages out, so I try to find really damaged books and I don't always find them. But we've got some music sheet as well, so I'll be able to use some of this, especially in my reading journal, for in corners and stuff like that, and just like rip it up. And oh, that's cute. I like that little picture. That is the Phantom Toll Booth. Unfortunate Conclusions is on the back. I wonder what books they're from. I wonder what books they're from. Oh, Adolf Hitler, really? Okay. In a situation where you find yourself, there can be no other thought but to stand fast and throw every gun and every man into the battle. The utmost efforts are being made to help you. Your enemy, despite his superiority, must also be at the end of his strength. I need new glasses. It's that time of year where I think I really should go and get new glasses. I'm actually moving. You probably noticed I was moving it further away from myself. It would not be the first time in history that a strong will has triumphed over the bigger battalions. As to your troops, you can show them no other road than to victory or death. Adolf Hitler. Great. This must be a battle without hope. Because there's all things that Adolf Hitler has said, which is just, they deserve to be ripped up. Alright, I'll have great pleasure ripping those up. Yeah, so that is what we've got this week. So we're still going along the theme of P, so pages. Alright, for those playing at home. So yeah, it's actually been quite interesting. As I said, I was a little bit how you going about the whole thing to begin with, but now that I'm looking at it from a different point of view, and I've had time to think about what I can use the things, and I did actually throw I did just chuck to be honest, I did throw out the jigsaw puzzle, because I'm not going to put, that's too bulky and I'm not going to use that. So I did, you know, neither here nor there, but I'm going to be able to use these things for in my journals and stuff like that. Alright, the other one that everybody likes me to open is the book one. We have day 6, and look at those Santas, they're so cute. I'm actually going to try and keep this paper and cut those Santas out and use them in my journal as well for next Christmas. Alright, but I tell you now, the book grocer, I don't know what tape they use, but it is glued down, I reckon. But yeah, I tried to get it open without wrecking it too much, but yeah, I don't have much success, as you can see right here. It just doesn't want to, and I don't want to take a knife to it because I'll accidentally cut the cover. Alright. From the top 10 best-selling author, Chris Womersley. Ooh, this looks good. A Lovely and Terrible Thing. By interweaving the trivial and the... I really need to go and get my glasses done. Gee, that's pretty bad. It could be that I'm a bit tired today too, so... the humorous and the grisly... I can't even say it. I'm just all tongue-tied. Oh my god. Anyway, you can read that. Okay, so... Alright. Around you, the world is swelling. You pass through a submerged town. Its steepless and trees barely visible through the thick water. In the distance, a wreck of a gunship, HMS Elizabeth, lolls on the sandbank. Oil slicks the canals of the capital, and even now, old men still like to tell the tales of mermen in the shallows. A pool empty, save for a brackish puddle and bones and hanks of fur on the floor, the remains of mice or possum that tumble, lured perhaps by moisture. Oh, they have tumbled in, that lured perhaps by moisture or perhaps by something else. In this best-selling author Chris Womersley first short fiction collection, 20 watery, macabre and deliciously enjoyable tales will keep you spellbound until the final unexpected, unsettling twist. Okay, so judging by that, it is actually, yes, it is short stories. That is awesome that I've got that, because I actually am going to talk a little bit about my prompts today from Magical Stitches Mystery Year. So that is going to come in handy next year, and also for some of the bingo prompts, because I'll be able to read the stories out of it, which will make it so much easier, because I don't have a lot of short story books. So the one that I'm reading at the moment is the Purple Swan Pen. And I can hear you girls laughing because I was talking about it on my Friday night chat, and we were just talking about the different stories in it and all the rest of it. I haven't read too many more to talk about, but I've got a couple that I will be talking about this week. So that is another one to go onto the bookshelf. That will definitely be getting a run this coming year, so I'll just pop that over there, and we're going to get stuck into the stitching. But before we do, I'm just going to, well, I'll actually stitch and I'll talk about that. So Yesterday, no, it wasn't yesterday, it was Saturday. Yes, Saturday. I spent the day getting ready to do some challenges and stuff like that for the year. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about a book that I read this week that is absolutely amazing, and I think everybody should read it. And we're also going to talk a little bit about some of the prompts and everything from from Magical Stitches Mystery Year. Right, grab your cuppa and let's talk about some of the prompts that I have. Now these are my challenges from the challenge groups that I'm in. If you I'm not sure how you get into Magical Stitches the mystery year, I can probably invite you. So if you want to be a part of it, let me know. I invite you. There is a form that you need to fill out. They just want to know a few things on participation and stuff like that. If you're new to that sort of stuff, don't stress it. Just ask some questions. You can always ask me some questions. I know some of the things and all the rest of it, but I mostly do the yearly challenges. But this year, for the 2021, I just did their reading challenge. So they'll have reading challenges and stitching challenges. So I'm going to talk a little bit about their yearly one. Now there is a thing that you can print off and save to your drive. If you've got Google Drive, you can save it to that. It makes it easier. You just fill it in, as opposed to putting up posts like I did this year. I actually have to go and update it today. Put all the books and all the rest of it in there. So this one, we've got 26 categories, so it's laid out like this. And then I believe this was the inspiration. Oh, I don't know the name of the blog. Oh, yeah, okay. So the challenge credit is given to gregoryroad.blogspot.com. So you must be able to find it over there. So, because she did say that she got it off her blog. So basically you can go over there and have a look. So she's organized this here, and you can see each one has a number. Okay, so this is like it's not each month because there's 26, but the object of the game is to read the 4 books. So I had to clarify that. So you put in, like, you've got here, we'll just look at these couple here. You got the date when you finished, and then you just put the book title here and the author. I probably would have given that a little bit more room, but anyway. So for instance, I think they're rolling a dice, so it's sort of like a bingo. So if one comes up in January, for instance, I need to read a book with the word maker in the title. I also need to read a book featuring a fictional language. So that could be any sort of like fantasy, Star Wars comes to mind, Klingon, all that sort of stuff. A book about crafts or handiwork. Well, that's easy. I've got a ton of them on my bookshelf. And a book about lies. Ooh, I wish I had that prompt this year, because I could have... there's a few that I've read this year that have been about lies. And then you've got a cult classic, a dark fantasy, gothic horror, a speculative fiction book, and so forth and so on. So there's some of the prompts. So according to this, okay, we have 26 prompts and a wild card. And the wild card is the books in there. There's 5. So we've got a manga book, a book, and I'm not into manga books. So, and I mentioned it to a friend, and she goes, "That's probably because you're not a teenage boy." Okay. But there's lots of people that aren't teenage boys that are into it, and they're girls. Anyway, that was my rebuttal to it. A book that includes an ocean journey. I think I might do a classic for that one. A book about geeks, a book about zodiac signs or astrology, and a book that centers around a group of friends. So yeah, they're the wild card ones. So as I said, the credit for this challenge is over. That is the information just there. Gregory Road, blogspot.com. I haven't gone over to the blog, but I will go and have a bit of a look. So going on that, I'm going to have to read over 100 books again. But I'm going to do it a little bit different this year. As I said, I am going to be doing audiobooks and all the rest of it as normal. But I'm probably going to be more vigilant about what the book's about. So I'm going to really scrutinize the book, do a bit of research to do all my prompts, and I will actually, in the next coming weeks, I will sit down and go through my bookshelf of all the books that I've just received from the book grocer, all the books that I have on my Audible, all the books that I have in my Kindle, and I will start matching them up. There was one on here, a book about doctors, nurses, healthcare professionals, one that is written by a journalist or a current or former journalist, ones that is about an apartment building, a book that has feet on the cover, a book that has a hand in the title, a book about heads, a book with a nose on the cover, a book that someone called a page turner, a beach read, bestseller. Very similar to how I've done the bingo in the group and all the rest of it, but it'll be very interesting. And once I'm finished finding all the books, then that'll be set. And then so that means that those books will basically be set in concrete, and they will have to get read throughout the year as it's being rolled. So basically I'm going to go, as I said, I'm going to go through all my books. A lot of the Blake Pierce books have a lot of these things in them and stuff like that. How are you going to find out whether it's got an apartment in it or not? I don't know. So things like that I might have to leave off, and as I read the books then I can log them in. But that is my yearly challenge. That is my yearly challenge for next year. So another big year of reading. I hope you don't mind, because you're going to be hearing about all these books. I am probably going to put in 2 Stitch With Me's and keep the time down. Alright, so the next, as I said, the next thing that I've been doing is working out all the challenges for our group. So basically we are going to be covering, because we're a multi-craft channel, we're going to cover a lot of different things. So basically I have put up a list of the different genres of crafting that we're going to be covering things for. So we've got obviously patchwork, we've got reading, we've got stitching, and when I say stitching, that is encompassing of all of needlework, so embroidery as well, because when I'm doing the challenges I will put down, because some people like to count, some people just like to set a timer and do some stitching. So what I'm hoping it'll achieve is it will help you, like the other groups help me to be motivated. As I said, we're going to have a couple of different reading challenges and they're not too hectic either. So one of the reading challenges is, I will let you know, is an A to Z reading challenge. So basically what that means is you need to read books that have an, like, start with A, or things like that, A, B through to Z. Okay, and I'll put up some recommendations of books if you're struggling and stuff like that, that I've either read or someone else has recommended to me, and I'll let you know in that instance. And basically what we'll do is you just write down when you finish that book. So there's only 26 letters in the alphabet. That's only one book a fortnight, you know. And if you are reading, you know, short stories or stuff like that, or even you know, novels, if you do half an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening just as you're going to bed to finish the day off, you will be surprised how much you can get in. You can also do them through audiobooks or Kindle books. It doesn't matter what format you do it. However you consume your books, that is entirely up to you. As I said, I often do both physical and audiobook, because I can listen to it during the day. And the A to Z challenge is not a hard challenge, but it's also not as easy as you think. I have almost done mine. I think I have Q, X, and I've got Q, X, and Z to still do, and I think that I'm not going to get them done. So I only missed out on 2 this year, so I can move those 2 that I had in mind to read over to next year, and you know, I can read them then. But what else? I've got, so there's the A to Z challenge, and so that's going to be very interesting. I've got a couple of patchwork challenges as well. I also have a photography challenge, so something a little bit different. I know that some people are into photography and stuff like that, so I thought I'd put a little bit of a prompt together as well. Now the whole, as I said in that post, the whole idea of it is that if you are in the group and you do participate, share your photos, share what you're working on, share what you've done, share the prompt that you're working on. It doesn't have to be underneath anything that I post up, but you can just post it onto the wall yourself when you feel like it. That's fine. And yeah, tag me too, because I don't always get notifications for the group, and sometimes I'll miss stuff. So make sure that you tag me in your picture so I know that it's there. And we're going to have giveaways for all those that do participate. So I was going to do just a yearly one, but I decided to change that up a bit and make it a monthly one, and that'll get drawn on the 1st or the 2nd. Depending, if the 1st or the 2nd is on a weekend, then I will draw it on the 1st Monday of the month. So yeah, so, and I'll announce that on my Stitch With Me. So I thought that that would be a great way to get some activity happening in the group, get everybody motivated for the year. As I said, you don't have to participate in every single event. You know, you can pick and choose as you like. That's fine too. You know, I often in some groups only do some, and in others I'll do more. And I just sort of pick and choose to what fits my lifestyle and all the rest of it. But it's really good because it pushes you out of your little comfort zone as well. And it, you know, you might try something new and all that sort of stuff. So that is all happening in the background at the moment. So I'm spending a couple of hours a day on that, generally very early in the morning or late in the evening. And then basically I will... okay, what have I done there? Oh, that's because that's right. I'm just miscounting already. Yeah, so basically I'm doing that a couple of hours in the evening, but the first lot of prompts and everything will be up by the 20th for January. That way everybody's got time to, they're up a little bit earlier, so everyone's got time to get ready and prepare and all that sort of stuff. Did I go one too far over then? Yes, I did. All right. Yes, it is definitely time to get new glasses. I've had these for a couple of years, so it's generally about every 2 years I've got to go in and get a new prescription on that. Sometimes I could still get away with it. I could just use the readers and stuff like that, but it doesn't make for a great day when you're struggling to see what you're stitching on and all the rest of it. Alright, so keep an eye out for that in the group. As I said, on the 20th they'll go up, and then basically weekly challenges and all that sort of stuff will go up on Fridays, generally Friday afternoon around about 6 p.m, depending if I'm, you know, I might have to schedule it if I'm not here, but yeah, so basically just keep an eye out for that. They will be events in the group, so you will get an invite. If you don't want to participate, that is okay. Just put not participating or not going or whatever the thing is, and then, you know, just move on. You don't need to get upset about it or anything like that. It's just because it's part of the group. But if you don't do any of the challenge, make sure that you like and comment on the people that are actually participating in them, to show them a little bit of encouragement and all that sort of stuff. You know, sharing is caring and liking is loving and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm hoping to that everybody really enjoys their year of crafting. And because I have so many crafts that I like to do, the only one that I'm working on, I am working on a diamond painting one, but I'm not too sure how I'm going to do that. I'm still struggling with prompts for that sort of one, so I will get into that. Alright, so let's move on to the book that I'm going to talk about today. This book here. Okay, this lovely book here, beautiful cover, beautiful cover, absolutely lovely. this book has gone to my favourite book of the year. I'm going to do the voiceover for this so I can just continue stitching on, but I highly recommend this book. But I do want to just talk about, I am giving one lucky viewer today if you leave a comment down below with the word poppies, so POPPYS in the comments, or even the emoji poppy that looks like, I don't think it is a poppy, but it looks like it. But anyway, leave the word poppy down below. And the reason I'm asking you to do that is because I am going to give you a copy of this book. So if you only read on Kindle, I will have to, I think I can purchase it and send it to you, like to your email, like gift it to you. If you're in the US, I will just buy it on Amazon and send it to you as a gift to you. If you're in Australia, I will get it to you somehow in the post or whatever. I'm going to leave this up for this week, so people who might be a bit late to coming to the Vlogmas, they'll see it. But put the word poppies down in the comment and you will be in the draw to get this book. Now look at all these awards that this book has won, and I don't often go for a book that has this many awards because I've been sadly disappointed in the past, but this book did not disappoint. This is also an Australian author too, so I'm trying to read more Australian authors. So beautifully done, and the book is actually fact fiction, so there is some actual facts in this book based around a fictitious story. All right, so let's get stuck into what this book is about and how I felt about it. Dictionary of Lost Words is an absolute fabulous book. I cannot recommend this enough for you. If you're struggling to find something to read, or you want to pick up reading again and you want a good book to start with, I suggest you pick up this book. I just fell in love with the story and the characters and all the rest of it that's happening in this book. Now, as I said when I was showing you the cover, it is actually a fact fiction. So there are some characters that are portrayed in this book. While their story is a little, like it has a little bit of a license to it, there is some facts that are in here that are actually true. So basically the characters that were in the book, the main character is Esme. It starts off with her being a young girl. She's motherless. She's being raised by her father. She's really curious, and she spends her childhood in the scriptorium, which is in Oxford, which is essentially a garden shed at Oxford, and that's where her father and a group of other people, I think they call them lexicographer. Oh, geez, I am tongue-tied today for sure. Okay, I'm not even going to try and say that word because it just won't come out now that I'm tongue-tied on it. But yeah, there's a whole group of people that are putting the Oxford Dictionary together. So the first edition of the Oxford English Dictionary. So basically what happens is they've got people sending slips of paper in with words on it and all that sort of stuff. And they're working through from A through to Z, obviously, because it's the Oxford English Dictionary. And it took many years to put together. So it started I believe it started the Oxford Dictionary, and I am just going to have to refer to the book. If they've got some dates and stuff in the back of the book. So, 1879. So they started looking at doing it in 1857. In 1879, Sir James Murray was appointed editor to it. So he is actually mentioned in the book, and they talk about his daughters as well in the book, and 3 other characters that are in the book were actually this group of people that spent a considerable amount, well, nearly their life time on the dictionary. So basically, as I said, it is following a fiction story, but it's got some facts in it. I really like this genre of writing because I like to learn things. Like there was some things that I learnt in here that I didn't know because obviously I didn't pay attention at school or whatever the case may be. I didn't do history at school, so I guess if I had done history at school, I would have known these things. I did I didn't do modern history. I think I did a term of ancient history, and then I got to choose my electives, and I didn't choose any of the histories for my electives. I did geography instead. So, so that's probably why some of these things I haven't picked up and all that sort of stuff. But I find it really interesting. Now, the physical book actually has a picture in the back of it, and it is of Arthur Mayling, Frederick Sweetman, and F.A. Yonkney, and Elsie Murray, Sir James Murray, and Rofif Murray. It is a very hard name to pronounce. It is Rosfrith, so I don't even know how to really pronounce it. So the picture that was taken, that was put into a periodical in 1915, and it was just taking a picture and talking about what they do. So essentially what happens is there are people around the globe sending in slips of paper with words on it, and then essentially writing a sentence where they found it, where they've seen it, what book it was in, all that sort of stuff. And they're sending it all into these people at Oxford, and they're compiling it all together. Then it's sending it off to the press, which is the printing press, and basically putting it down on paper for real. And, it basically... and then the story's following Esme and her curiosity for words and stuff like that. And they would drop slips of paper and stuff like that, and she would pick them up, and she started squirreling away these words. And then she realised that some words weren't being included and stuff like that. So she started talking to the common people and women, and getting their words that they use in their everyday life and all that sort of stuff. I will let you know there is a very, very crass word. It's a word that I don't even like using. So I'm not going to repeat it on here, but I will, for those that have been around me for a while, will know what See You Next Tuesday is. That word is in it for quite a bit, and she's talking to a character named Mabel, who is a very grungy type person, like she's got this marketplace, and she's got teeth are rotting in her head, and she's just really old and crinkly, you can just imagine her being some sort of old crone and all the rest of it, the way she's the author has depicted her. And Esme goes to the market with her I guess she's called a maid, like she's a maid, and basically Lizzie takes her down to the market all the time, and this is where she's learning a lot of these words, and she just meets these characters along the way, and she starts going to the theatre and all that sort of stuff, and she meets those sort of people, and then there's a lot underlying subplot of the Women's Suffrage Act and all that sort of stuff in it. So so women in England trying to get the right to vote, and there's some newsworthy things in there as well that actually did happen, that she's put in the book. There's also the underlying thing that of the book as well is that how male orientated the society was then, and how the males were driving what the dictionary words were in there and stuff like that. So when they finally did finish it and they had a dinner and all the rest of it, the women that were involved, and there were quite a number of women that were involved with this, with the dictionary, they didn't even get an invite to the dinner, but the three of them were able to sit up in the balcony and listen to the speeches and all the rest of it. They didn't even get fed, and stuff like that. So it was very, for lack of a better word, I guess it's a little bit biased, to like the males were picking what words were going in there. So that's why Esme became sort of obsessed about collecting words and putting them together and keeping them. And during the story, that she meets a guy who is
he's a typesetter. So basically what he does is he puts all the letters in that are going to go into the book, into the press. And so that's what he does for a living and all the rest of it. And so he ends up compiling this book together for her. I won't tell you the circumstance behind it because that'll spoil it for you. But it is just an absolute amazing book. I'm really happy with this author. This is the first time I've ever read anything from Pip Williams. She's an Australian author as well. So I'm trying to read more Australian authors, and I just sort of go on Kindle and click Australian authors, and a whole heap of books will come up and all the rest of it. So I actually purchased this. I purchased this wholly and solely because it had the word dictionary on it and lost words. And the poppies on the front. I didn't even really pay attention to all the awards that it won and all the rest of it, but rightly so. So it is actually won 7 awards. Sorry, I just had something go in my eye then. And so it's won the Mudd Literary Prize for 2021, historical novel for 2020. It was longlisted. It was Book of the Year. I can't really, my glasses aren't that fab. Indie Book of the Year, sorry. The writing was really tiny and it's in light blue. So Indie Book of the Year for 2021. And there's a couple others here that are covered up. So yeah. So I'm really, really happy that I ended up buying this. And then, normally you get a book from Audible that they give away for free. They're a little bit hit and miss. It's very rare that you get something that has this many awards so early in the piece that they're giving it away for free. So, this would have normally cost me $14.95 if I wanted to buy it as an Audible audio book, but yeah, they were giving it away for free. But I already had it on my bookshelf, so I had already put it tentatively into my TBR for the year. I have in my journal, I have a page for 21 books in 21, and this was on the list. So I've now checked that off that list. I've still got a few more to go on that. But we've still got a couple more weeks to go, so it's not too bad. We should be okay. I should get there in the end. I might miss out on one or two. But yeah, a lot. I think 3 of them are actually audiobooks, so I should get through them pretty quickly. Brilliant story. It made me laugh. It made me gasp. It made me cry. It just stirred so many emotions. I learnt something as well, like what I did learn, and I'm pretty happy. It's about my own country, which is even better. That in 1894, South Australia, Parliament passes a constitutional amendment to Adult Suffrage Act. The Act grants all adult women, including Aboriginal women, the right to vote and the right to stand in Parliament. It was the first Parliament in the world to do so. While women in New Zealand won the right to vote in 1893, they were not eligible for election to the House of Representatives until 1919. So that's pretty amazing. I was pretty happy about learning that about my own country. As I said, I didn't really cover anything like that. I left school very young and all the rest of it, so I didn't cover a lot of that stuff. And if I did, I probably wasn't listening. And it was quite, even our country, we had the women had the right to vote way before England did. So basically in 1902, the newly established Australian Parliament passes the Commonwealth Franchise Act of 1902, enabling adult women to vote at federal elections and stand for federal parliament, except those of Aboriginal natives of Australia, African, Asian or Pacific Islanders weren't able to. But, I mean, that is very sad in itself, and I don't know when they actually got the right to vote. I didn't look that up. I believe it was a little bit further on in our history. But, I mean, to be before England to get the right to vote is pretty amazing in itself. I mean, I knew that in 1902 we got the right to vote. I just didn't realise that South Australia, I just thought it was all of Australia. I didn't realise South Australia was, 8 years earlier, and they actually allowed Aboriginal women to stand for Parliament and also vote, which is very, very, whoever was around at that time was awesome. And they obviously realised that all humans, no matter who they are, where they come from, what colour their skin is, they are just human like all of us. So yeah, I think that is absolutely amazing. And the back of the book actually has some dated stuff and all the rest of it. There's a couple of characters in the book that she calls Beth and Edith. Okay, they were actually their characters, even though their stories were a little bit, creative, so to speak, there was a little bit of fact in their backstory. So there is actually Elizabeth Thompson she did actually publish A Dragoon's Wife, and it is actually spoken about in this book. And Edith did actually send in words and all the rest of it, and had a lot to do with compiling the words for the Oxford Dictionary. So she was actually in it as well. So there was all of that, and she was portrayed as Esme's auntie. So I'm trying not to give away too much and all the rest of it. But yeah, and then there's different things that happened during the Edith Thompson did actually publish a history of England, a pictorial course for schools. That was talked about in it as well. And she had Esme helping her put that together. There's a subplot there, and that's all I'm going to say there because that'll give away a lot. So basically it is a beautiful story. I absolutely love the story. It does go through quite a long space of time. So it starts, I believe the first page, I think it says it was 1887, is where it the story starts off. So, is it? Sorry, February 1886 is when it starts. I just had to double check that. So yeah, and it just follows her story of her growing up around all these words and her obsession with words and collecting words. And as I said, she started putting words together and getting a collection of lost words that weren't in the dictionary. And basically it was mostly words that were from common everyday people, the uneducated, the educated, but the people that weren't high in society and stuff like that. So it's a pretty amazing story. I'm sure that you're going to enjoy it. As I said, we've got a giveaway, and I want to give you the viewer, a copy of that. So leave the word poppies down in the comments, and then you will go into the draw to win a copy. I will have to look up and see if I can gift for Kindle. If not, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I can always get it on Amazon and send it out to you. So in saying that, that is my review for that. And I don't want to say, I don't want to say it again, but I'm going to. If you cannot wait to see if you're the winner, which I'm going to announce next Monday, get yourself a copy. It is on Audible. It is on Kindle. It is a physical book on Amazon. And read this book. You will absolutely love it. Make it your Christmas read. Make it your summer read. Whatever you need to do. Read 30 pages a day or 30 minutes a day. But I think that you will thoroughly enjoy this book. And as I said, I actually have been tossing up what my favourite book was going to be. Whether it was going to be Outlander, The Sewing Machine, or some other book. And as it turned out, because I really enjoyed The Sewing Machine, I really like books that invoke strong feelings in me. And I didn't want to have it as books that I've already read or anything like that. So a book that I have read this year, this just skyrocketed to the top. And it will go into my reading journal as my 2021 most favourite book. I also voted on Goodreads for it as well. So yeah, so hopefully it will make it will be the book of the year on Goodreads. Probably won't be, but in that particular genre, it might be. It is a brilliant book, and you will thoroughly enjoy it. All right, so that's really all I've got to say on that. Tomorrow we'll be looking at Jessica Hunt. I've read another one of her books as well, and anything else that takes my fancy to talk about tomorrow. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed me talking about that book today. It is an awesome book, and I'm sure that you will love it if you read it. I'll leave a link down below where you can purchase that as well, but don't forget to leave a comment so you can be in the running to win a copy from me. Alright, so we have done another reindeer. I am going to sign off for today. Again, if you're new here, thank you so much for joining me, and if you've made it this long, thank you so much for sticking around and listening to me prattle on. Don't forget, if you have yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon beside it, and then that way you won't miss out on any of my future posts. I will be back again tomorrow for another Stitch With Me and BookTube and advent opening. So until then, have a great day. If you're doing any shopping, happy shopping and happy stitching as well, and I'll see you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.